Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. Albert Einstein. Hello sweetie. Today we're gonna tell you how much you've never been alone. Stay brave and take it with a smile, 'cause the U.N.I.T collected some data for you. Our solar system persists on one sun, which is circled by 8 planets and about 70,000 objects, which are bigger than 60 miles, and a large number of smaller objects. Together they are forming the Kuiper belt. Our home planet, the Earth, is the third nearest planet to Sun. Its surface consists of about 70% of water and over 92 million square miles of land mass. Our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, consists of 300 billion solar systems, also known as stars. Based on the fact that our solar system counts more than 70,000 huge objects, it is unimaginable how huge the Milky Way galaxy has to be. But anyways, we do know that the Milky Way galaxy is neither the biggest nor the only galaxy in our universe. There are more than 100 million galaxies, so far we know today. Though, we're unable to see an end yet. So let's try this calculation with an average of 5 objects per solar system. That means 300 billion solar systems multiplied by 5 planets. Then you take the result of that and try to multiply it by 100 million of galaxies, and now you've got a tiny little idea of how huge this universe is. We are living in a world which is trying to persuade us to believe 1. That we're absolutely alone in a whole huge universe. 2. That life is improbable in this universe because there is a minor number of Earth-like planets. 3. That humanity is the first intelligent living civilization into that galaxy. No one knows more than we do. 4. That we are at the end of any science and knowledge because what we aren't able to do, no one is able to do. 5. That there is just what you are able to see and nothing else. If you can handle the truth, take this data and we'll give you an excellent example of human stupidity. 1. People around us trying to persuade us to believe the lie that we're the only intelligent living creatures in this solar system, this galaxy or this universe. Some people even so try to persuade us to believe in the thought that there is generally no other life existing in the whole universe. Today, these lies require an answer to. The truth is, in this solar system where the Earth exists into, are more than 70,000 other objects, which are existing in a galaxy with more than 300 billion solar systems, which are existing in a universe with more than 100 million galaxies. Sorry, but by common sense we need to admit that it is nearly impossible that we are alone in this universe. 2. People also argue to justify this lie that there are only a small number of Earth-like planets in the universe. But if we take a look at how life works on Earth, we notice that we know more than 12 kinds of extremophilic organisms that are currently living on Earth, and that a planet Earth-like is actually not necessary to support life. Thermophilic and hyperthermophilic organisms, which are perfectly adapted to temperatures of 80 degrees and more. Psychrophilic and cryophilic organisms, adapted to temperatures under -10 degrees and less. Holophilic organisms, adapted perfectly to life with high concentrations of salt. Methaneophilic organisms, which are adapted to live in areas with high concentrated methane. Lithotroph, an organism which lives in soil of diverse stones, deriving energy from reduced mineral compounds like pyrites. Metal-tolerant, tolerating high levels of dissolved heavy metals, such as copper, cadmium, arsenic or zinc. Oligotroph organisms, adapted to environments with limited nutrition. Osmophile organisms are able to live in environments with a high sugar concentration. basophile or barophile organism lives optimally at high pressure such as those in the deep ocean. Radio-resistant organisms are able to tolerate or need high levels of ionizing radiation or making energy with. Xerophile organisms can grow in extremely dry or without water. However, we also know that there exist a huge number of polyoectomophile organisms living on Earth. They are showing mixed extomophile characteristics and living in areas which are definitely causing death to human beings or most known animals. Due to the fact that there is extomophile life on Earth, we conclude that it needs neither a magnetic field, nor water, the pressure, the temperatures, nor the metal methane, sugar, salt or acid concentrations or conditions of Earth. Actually, not even a low radiation is necessary to enable life on any other planet. With the current state of research, humanity is unable to evaluate that an evolution can't happen in an environment that is not Earth-like. Because we do have organisms native to Earth living in ecological niches that are hostile to life on Earth. Nevertheless, scientists tell you an evolution is only possible with Earth-like conditions. Common sense tells us, an evolutionary development should be also possible based on extomophile organisms. That's why there are complex extomophile organisms existing on Earth, such as Chlamydomonas nivalis, which are adapted to -30 degrees cold ice in Antarctica. It is ridiculous to believe that an Earth-like planet would be necessary to support or enable the evolution of life. 3. That humanity is the first intelligent living civilization into that galaxy, no one knows more than we do. Modern physics scientists, like Stephen Hawking, say that there is almost no way for extraterrestrial life to visit our Earth because they won't be able to reach the speed of light. Excuse this matter, Stephen my friend, but I tell you something about the laws of science. Ever since humanity has asked for some answers, so already ever, the identical case has occurred. Under the conditions of science, if the same happens over and over again, we're able to conclude that it is about something like a principle, right? Just imagine, in the history of humanity, people used to say, it is impossible to sail to America, because the sailors will fall over the end of the world. In 1492, Christopher Columbus sailed to America. Surprise! He didn't fall over the world's end. Until the 18th century, and for a long time afterwards, people used to say, it is impossible for a human being to fly. At least since 1903. Thanks to the brothers Wright, it is possible, and nowadays thousands of people fly through the whole world and indeed daily. By the 20th century, people used to say, it is impossible to survive a journey of more than 100 kilometers per hour. And as we can see, in 1903 Camille Genatzi drove 100 kilometers per hour and has survived it. Whenever someone said that something would be impossible, another someone came to prove the opposite. But we still haven't learned it. Because people continue to say, this will never be possible. Of course you could say yes, but there was no world's end and the law of nature allows to fly. They were just wrong. That's right, they were and we are today. Out there, in our universe could be a civilization which is older than 1 billion years. Do you really believe that you know more about physics than they do? The truth is, we do have already theories which allow us to travel through time. That some seriously scientists say such things only shows us how human stupidity works, with a hubris. 4. That we are at the end of any science and knowledge because, what we aren't able to do, no one is able to do. However, based to the fact that our galaxy is 13.5 billion years old, and a civilization up to the state of research like ours would need around 5 million years to occupy the whole galaxy. which means 13.5 billion years divided by 5 million years equals 270 possibilities for a damn young civilization like ours to colonize the whole Milky Way galaxy, in which the Earth is included. Sorry, but we are talking about a Type 0 civilization, which is 200,000 years old. Not about Type 1 or 2 civilizations, who are able to interstellar travel or proper use of resources. Due to fact that the Milky Way galaxy consists of 300 billion stars, with an age over 13 billion years, we need to put the possible existence of civilizations within over billions of years long-running evolution to record. And if scientists gonna tell us that it's impossible for those civilizations to come here because we are still unable to come there, well, we tell them, come down of your delusions of grandeur. Humanity is a tiny fart in the Earth's history, not to mention compared to the history of the universe. 5. That there is just what you are able to see and nothing else. Although the universe is unimaginably huge and the story we are talking about is incredible, it is not over yet. For all the people who constantly believe what they can see, the amazing existence comes now. All 100 million galaxies with all their billions of solar systems and the trillions of planets in these solar systems represent, according to the current state of research, less than 5% of what is known to us as present. Yes, you heard that right. They represent less than 5% of what we are able to measure of what exists in the to us known universe area. Based on current state of research, around 27% of everything what exists shall be dark matter. The remaining 68% of existence, which we are able to measure, shall be dark energy. Dark matter is a really funny thing. We do know that there is some kind of matter, because it influences the gravitation. And if you calculate a gravitation field by the baryonic matter you are able to see, it is another one than the real gravitation field, which is much bigger. So there is something you're unable to see. But it is there. Like magic, but we are talking about physics. To tell you the truth about your existence, the electromagnetic spectrum reaches from extremely high frequencies, like gamma rays over microwaves and the visible light, to extremely low frequencies. What you are able to see is another tiny fart in what is known as presently there. Other animals like birds, for example, are able to see more colors, because they perceive ultraviolet radiation as colors. The name dark matter goes back to the electromagnetic spectrum. It's called dark because you are unable to see it. Due to the current state of research, we need to admit that it isn't easy to say if dark matter really doesn't interact with other waves of the electromagnetic spectrum. There are some hints that it interacts with X-rays. Anyways, based to the current state of research, it is likely that 27% of what exists is invisible. Let us think about that. 5% are visible, and consist of 100 million galaxies so far. That means 5 times more matter is there than this 100 million visible galaxies. Which means dark matter of over 500 million galaxies exists outside of our awareness. Gosh. And now humanity turns up here, building cars in the last 100 years and computers in the last 80 years, measuring the weather since 200 years, believing the end of science would be now. Come on, tell me truly, do you still believe that?